I want to be an encouragement to you. That's the hope. What I want to focus on is something that I think everyone should hear. I want to talk to you about the importance of going the distance. I remember when I was a kid, life was a lot simpler back then. A lot of people say that, and it rings true to an extent. You grew up learning valuable life lessons, whether you realized it or not. And you learned them through different situations, whether it was scholastically, studying to get good grades on an exam, socially, asking a girl out to the dance, or athletically, scoring the winning touchdown in the big game. I think some of the most defining moments of life are when you set out to do something, you work hard at it, and you achieve a reward or some level of recognition. That's got to be one of the most satisfying feelings. And what's more is that you're able to tell yourself that you did something worthwhile or valuable with your time, that you contributed in some measure to something important that was beneficial for you or helped others. And that's very gratifying. It truly is. And that follows us as we get older. We crave that sort of recognition, and the more success we have in life, the more inclined we are to seeing things through and going the distance to seeing things get done.
This is Strong Fellow Podcast with your hosts, John Christopher. Ready or not, here we are.
Throughout life, there are such a multitude of opportunities that present themselves to you whereby a man can take action and really achieve something great, do something worthwhile with his life. I think personally that a man must oftentimes be proving himself in order to test his mettle and in order to grow as an individual. This desire is innately instilled in the consciousness of a man. I guess it's a way for him to prove his self-worth to both himself and others, to show that he has intrinsic value. People who harness that desire are often the most motivated, hardworking, and subsequently the most successful people out there. And you know, a really good example I came across about a man's desire to succeed is actually rooted in a fictional work about the story of an everyman. And that story is Rocky, the 1976 motion picture film that essentially captivated the imaginations of audiences everywhere, in particular the sports fan or the average Joe. And this film really lays out beautifully the personal struggle and desire for a man to be successful at something and to get into a situation where he's way in over his head, but he's going to get in there anyway and do what he can to go the distance. And by going the distance, he obtains his measure of success. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this film, it's a total classic, and it's a movie. It's one of those movies that you can watch over and over again and manage to take away something out of it and really come away inspired. So the quick summary of the story is that you got this guy, this down-on-your-luck Philadelphia native, working at the docks, working for some loan shark, and just living this monotonous and really brutal existence on the streets. But then he happens to get an opportunity, and perchance he happens to get the opportunity of a lifetime to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. And it's such a remarkable thing because when he gets that offer, his life's journey changes in an instant. And he has something to shoot for. He has something worthwhile, worth pursuing, that he's going to go after. And I think he knows that he's in way over his head throughout the film, but that doesn't deter him from going the distance and seeing it through anyway. So, the night before the big fight, Rocky's lying there in bed with his eyes wide open, just thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. And he admits to himself that all he's really concerned about is just proving to himself that he can go the distance, that he can go the full 15 rounds with the heavyweight champion of the world. And that if he could do that, that his life would have real meaning, that he would show people that he was somebody, that he would be seen as a person who didn't give up despite the odds. You know, I wonder how many people we have like that in real life with that sort of attitude walking around today, that they're doing whatever they can to persevere in the face of adversity, in the face of overwhelming odds and seemingly impossible situations. How people are getting in the face of their fears and their reluctance. And despite their detractors, despite their own personal skepticism, they're going out there and they're making a difference for themselves and other people. They're showing an example of what it means to persevere through adversity and what it means to go the distance. Man, that's so important that we step up to the challenge as individuals, as men. We step up, we own the situation, and we decide to go the distance in order to make a difference in our lives or somebody else's lives that we care about. For everyone who's ever been inspired by movies like Rocky, I know that there are a ton of real life Rockies out there just looking to get after it, looking to overcome something in their lives that nobody thinks that they can. And it's important not only to have an attitude of determination and perseverance, but to surround yourselves with people who will encourage you to stay in the fight, who will encourage you to get up when you don't feel like getting up anymore, when life has knocked you down. Get up. And if you don't have anybody in your life like that, if you struggle to find somebody who is going to give you that encouragement, then I, for one, would like to lend my voice as an encouragement to you men to keep after it, to keep going, to keep getting up each morning and going to work, to provide a better life for yourself or for your families, your loved ones, to keep going and chasing after those dreams that are right and good and true, to keep being inspired, to keep finding a way to win, to keep going when times get tough, to stand fast in the face of adversity when others doubt you, and also to lend my voice to tell you, don't give up. Don't you dare give up. You know, in the Christian teaching, when someone exercises faith in God, God has always come through for them. And if nothing else I say gets through, then I want to point you in the right direction. Let the Lord God be your great encouragement. Let Him be your strength. Learn to lean on Him and His Word. Let God be the best inspiration for you. I just want to throw that out there because I think a lot of people need to hear that. And for all you guys out there, I just want to ask you too, how can you ever know or experience the full blessings of God and His plan for your life if you're not willing to walk the path in faith and trust Him? Even if that path is hard or the journey is arduous, if you're not willing to walk down that road, then you can't honestly expect to enjoy the blessings of the other side of that mountain. You can't really expect to also enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I encourage you again, get up off your butt and keep going. Keep pushing forward. And let me tell you something else too. Quitting never wins you any prizes. That's just a rule of life right there. When you quit or give up, you're giving up your success. You're giving up an achievement. You're giving up something that you could have conquered or mastered. Why do that? Why take the easy way out? And I know from personal experience about that. You know, back in high school, I tried out for the high school football team as a freshman, and the tryouts were walk-on, and I was part of the practice squad for the summer camp there. And I remember going through all these drills, all this fitness and conditioning. And I was a small guy too, and really skinny to boot. So it was tough for me to hang in there. And when it came time to do tackling drills and just get really physical, aside from running the plays, I had all my gear on, standing outside in the field in about 100-degree heat. It felt like 120 out there, and I got lit up something fierce. The first time I got tackled, I couldn't even stay on my feet. I felt like I was just being launched right to the ground, and it hurt. I was frustrated. I felt like I didn't want to be there. But I dusted myself off, got back in line, waited my turn to be tackled, and again I got hit with even greater force than the last time. And I went down again. And the second time I got up, I felt like, man, I don't belong here. I'm too small. I'm too weak. I'm too fragile to be playing in this game, to competing with all these bigger guys. I think the only option left I got is to quit. And unfortunately, I made the decision to quit the squad, to quit the team. And that is a decision I regretted even unto this day. It was a hard lesson for me to learn because looking back on that, and they all say that hindsight's 20/20, right? So looking back on that, I'm like, man, what does that say about me? Not just that I can't hack it, but when the going got tough, I couldn't handle that situation. Sometimes you just got to push through it. You got to put aside the doubt. You got to persevere. You got to hang in there. You got to stick to it. Because in sticking to it, you not only persevere in the situation, but you grow as a person mentally, physically, emotionally. You grow. Yes, you're going to take your lumps, your bruises, your bloody noses, your fat lips, your swollen fingers, your broken ankles or your broken feet. Yeah, that could happen. But meeting the challenge of something like that and bonding with the guys and earning respect, that says something about your character. And when you grow and develop through adversity, through challenges, you're going to get respect. And you know, there are one of two ways people could see you. People are going to see you for the person you are, or they're going to see right through you. You know, while I regret walking off the field that day and hanging up my cleats, I felt really bad about not being able to hack it there. And I didn't want to get used to that feeling. So I guess I took away from that is that I don't want to be perceived as a person who's going to quit and lay down when things get tough in life. I don't want to be known as that guy. And I got to tell you, quitting can be habit forming. Quitting at things that you need to go through to grow as an individual, as a person, as a man, can have dire consequences. And quitting when times get tough is about the easiest decision a man can make because it keeps you in your comfort zone. And that's the thing with guys today in this generation, right? We're too comfortable where we are that we'll never arrive where we're supposed to be in this life if we're not careful. Let me tell you, folks, no one ever won a battle or a war by quitting it. fight on, push through, forge ahead, because that's how you're going to come out a winner. That's how you can come out on top. And that's the way it's got to be done. The importance of going the distance. Do you have it in you to do just that?